Somalia extends its gratitude to the Algerian delegation for convening this vital session today. We also want to welcome Commissioner General Mr. Filippi Lazzarini and Secretary General Mr. Jan Egeland, and thank them for their illuminating and critical situation facing the Palestinian people. For over 7 decades, United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, has been an indispensable lifeline for millions of Palestinian refugees, providing essential services in education, healthcare, and social support. Yet, today, its very existence is under direct threat from recent legislative measures passed by the Knesset of Israel. These measures aim to restrict UNRWA's operations and undermine its ability to deliver vital services. This cannot be seen as anything other than a deliberate attempt to exacerbate the suffering of an already vulnerable populations. Actions in targeting UNRWA ability to function represent an assault on the basic rights of millions of refugees who depend on these services for their survival. UNRWA currently supports more than 5.9 million Palestinian refugees across the region. Its education program alone provides critical schooling to over 540,000 children, fostering not only education but also hope and stability in communities that have seen little or either. In healthcare services, encompassing primary and emergency care are vital to the health and well-being of millions of Palestinians. Any disruption to these services does not just deepen human suffering, it systematically dismantles the infrastructure that enables these communities to survive. Mr. President, such actions are not only morally indispensable or indefensible, but also a blatant violation of international law. These actions directly contravene Israel's obligation as an occupying power under the Fourth Geneva Convention to ensure the welfare of the population under its control. No attempt to undermine UNRWA can negate these fundamental legal duties. Restricting the operations of UNRWA, an agency that has consistently operated with neutrality and transparency, undermines global efforts to address the root causes of this decades-long crisis, to work toward peace and stability. Where despair grows, so too do the risk of further conflict. As we have seen in other regions of the world, experiencing prolonged crisis, failing to address basic human needs, often leads to perpetuation of violence and insecurity. We must recognize that the challenges facing Palestinian refugees are not isolated. They resonate across the world, where similar challenges of displacement, access to basic services, and conflict-induced vulnerabilities are all too familiar. We must view this issue not only through humanitarian lenses, but a matter of global peace and security. The challenges faced by Palestinian refugees are interconnected with the broader regional stability, and failure to address this issue adequately risks further displacement. In today's interconnected world, the deepening of humanitarian crisis can no longer be viewed in isolation. Moreover, the international community has a moral responsibility to ensure that UNRWA's vital work continues unhindered. We must collectively demand that Israel immediately cease its attempt to restrict agency's work and comply fully with its obligations under the international law. Furthermore, we must reaffirm our commitment to ensuring UNRWA has the resources and political support it needs to continue its essential mission. UNRWA's mission must continue until we achieve a comprehensive political solution, an independent Palestinian state within 1967 borders, East Jerusalem its capital, and the implementation of the refugees' right of the return under the UN Resolution 194. While we welcome the recent ceasefire, which brings hope for millions, it must serve as a stepping stone toward just and lasting peace, not merely a temporary respite. The international community cannot afford or allow these attacks on neutral humanitarian agency to succeed. To do so will not only fail the Palestinian refugees, but also betray the principles of justice, human rights, and accountability that underpin our work. In closing, this is a moment that calls for solidarity and action. The Palestinian cause demands more than temporary solutions. It requires justice and lasting solution, in particular, the end of the occupation, the Palestinian territory, and full recognition of a free, sovereign, and independent Palestine with East Jerusalem as its capital in accordance with the relevant resolutions of the Security Council and the General Assembly. Until we achieve this, UNRWA remains an essential lifeline that we must preserve and support. I thank you.